Hey everybody, it's Bust with another weekly quest in the Path of Champions, and today we'll be taking on the 1.5-star Kaisa. She has the special ability at round end. You kill all units except each player's strongest. And so you get in the turn with just one unit on board, all of your width gets removed. We'll be trying to battle this with our Teemo, and this is a kind of interesting space, right? Teemo has a really tough time being the strongest champion on the board, and we've been playing our Teemo with Gale Force to where at the round end you do the recall. So it sounds like this should be a pretty useful set of abilities to where we're only going to have the one unit on board at the end of the turn, and then Teemo's going to recall himself back. But it doesn't play nicely 100% of the time. And so my understanding, and at least in the games that I've played, and the way I thought that this should work is I thought the active player had all their abilities go first, and then the Nexus ability went after that. That's apparently not the way it works with these Nexus abilities. And if we have the Teemo on board, if it's our active turn, a turn where we gain the attack token, he's going to die before the Gale Force sends him back. But if we play him on our opponent's turn, then he'll return to our hand before the strike thing kills off our units. And so it's interesting to keep in mind. That sounds counterintuitive to me, but that's at least what it seems to function as in my limited testing. And so with the Teemo here, we're really heavily counting on Teemo to get in the Nexus strikes and kill with puff caps because all of our units are terrible. Our units are not going to have a good time dealing battle with the bigger boards of our opponents, and so we're going to really lean heavily on Teemo and his ability to get the puff caps into the opposing deck. The last interesting thing to say about the deck is the usage of stress defense. We can kind of pick and choose which of our opponent's units we want to be the strongest one. And so we might find ourselves in some spaces to where our opponent has a really good unit on board. We stress defense it so we don't take very much damage. And then since it's not the strongest unit on the board at the end of the turn, that ability will kill it off. So we do have some nice combos here for this weekly adventure. But again, it's a little bit awkward in terms of how this round end recall thing works. Because that seems backwards to me. I don't know. I've been wrong before, but I tried to pay close attention in one of my previous runs on this map, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it went. I've told you wrong before. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last, but I'd like to get it right at some point. Okay, so here, not really interested in any of these powers, right? The Vanguard Lookout, not going to play well with that unit clearing ability. Not super interested in giving out Vulnerable because our units combat so poorly, and then Enfeebling Strikes is pretty weak. Let's just take a mulligan. Here, these cards are all pretty terrible. Do not want Sticky Fingers in a Teemo deck. Do not be nabbing cards out of your opponent's deck after you just put hundreds of puff caps into it. This is another pretty easy reroll. Okay, so some interesting choices here. Lurk, of course, always strong. We have a bunch of cheap units in our deck, and this can kind of pop off. Crush, not so much. I usually really love Crush, but the Teemo decks don't really work with it. And then Attack, grow my power to match my health, I don't really like. It does minor combo with that stress defense, but I think we're just going to go with the Lie in Wait, and hopefully we can at least build up a unit that doesn't suck. Then you could kind of think, like, if you want to sequence it out in your head, you could at least say, well, if we get a Lurk attack in, then we should be, somewhat guaranteed to have larger units the rest of the game. And so maybe that'll will lend a hand in what we're trying to do. All right, and so I'm going to just see if I'm right, okay? Right here from the get-go, right on the first turn, there's typically no reason to just add in Teemo, right? Because Teemo's just going to recall back to our hand, and we're just going to spend the mana. But I kind of want to double-check on everything that I've been spouting out about the round-end stuff. And so we played it on our opponent's thing, right? And then he returned to our hand, and then the Nexus thing happens. And so maybe that was a bad example because we only had one unit on the board, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Teemo flip to our hand before you see the little thing flash over their Nexus health. And so I think we're okay. I think I landed that properly, but I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. But here, I want to get some kind of preemptive puff caps into the opposing deck. I would like to have both of our Teemo attacks next turn be flipped. And so I'm going to lead off with the Puff Cap Pup instead of leading off with the Teemo. This should let us... this should let us play a Mushroom Cloud, attack with Teemo, then he'll flip before his Nexus Strike, and then we should be able to close out the game from there. That's not very nice. We have the stress defense. I think this is where we want to use it. I'm actually not going to stress defense the Teemo because we have another one in hand. Right? What's he up to here? Hang on. 8 puff caps. So if we attack, it's got to be up to 5. No. Fine. Fine, dude. We'll keep the Teemo. Alright, Mushroom Cloud. Now he'll flip before the damage hits since we have the 5 puff caps on attack. Oh, got a lurk while we're at it. That's where the big damages come in. Oh, he's got an elusive? Oh, that's a load of crap. Let's be real. Not cool whatsoever. Alright, more Teemo and stuff. We definitely want to be able to wallop this turn. I was hoping that we were going to be able to just like wallop the Sky Cruiser next turn and block, but we need a blocker for this Voltician as well. So let's just add in Teemo. I'm going to block the big boy, wallop the elusive, and then... Oh, we should have done this the other way. Now that I stop and look at it, we could have put the 3 damage on the cruiser and then killed it with the Sump Fumes. I guess it's just going to die at the end of the turn anyways. Got to remember that that's a thing.
1, 2, 3, 4. I go waste if I'm in mushrooms.
All right, we're good to go now. Blow him up, Teemo. Alright, this might actually work out exactly how I want. We're going to attack with the Teemo. This is going to take him to 1. This is going to be another piece of the experiment that I can assure you, I know that I've done this and I'm right on this. So, right, we're going to see that the Nexus ability from the opponent goes first, and then Teemo is going to die and not return to our hand. See, Nexus ability, Teemo dead. And so... I'm pretty confident that it's the opposite of that on our opponent's turn, to where Teemo returns to our hand and then the Nexus thing happens. But, you know, Teemo's not very useful on our opponent's turn, right? We're not doing a whole lot of blocking with just a 1/1. All right, interested in any of this? We only have 1 reroll at this point, so I don't want to get too heavily invested. I think the get excited would just have to be good enough. We tend to have enough late game in these style of decks, and I actually look to actively cut a lot of the late game out of these. Alright, so what do we have here? It's also worth remembering we have that Lurk power, so ideally we'll have something that works well with Lurk, and I'm not like really amped about this Azir package, but an Azir with Phage is a pretty substantial unit, and so he's got to be a good blocker. He's got to be our strongest unit the majority of the time. And then I can kind of see us getting in some chip damage. If Azir's just sitting back in landmark mode and we're attacking with Teemo, we might be able to get a little bit happening with the Sand Soldiers. So I think this is going to be okay. It does have another 4-cost card in here, which is kind of the death knell of the Teemo decks, as we have the Chump Wump, the Lecturing Yordle, then now Sandcrafter, just a lot of expensives. But I think these are going to be our strongest options here in the Azir. Okay, and so then on the next set, we either have a healer, we have an Adaptron that lets you purchase turrets, or we have a spells chest. And I'm not like really amped about going after spells at this point, since we do have that Lurk relic. So I'm just going to head up to the top, see if we can't go to the healer and cut some cards out of our deck. So on to Jay Medarda. Do have to worry about him a little bit. He has the ability to generate Sumpworks maps, which can then block Teemo, but one problem at a time, man. One problem at a time. Okay, so let's mulligan a little bit harder. We're looking for Teemo, and we're looking for Puff Cap Pup. Found the pup, and Azir is ready to party a little bit afterwards. Looks good.
You know what my future is? Glorious.
All right, we found a suit up. Kind of interesting. It'll
Don't mind if I do.
make our pup bigger than Azir. So I still think we want to go for this. He's gonna block. Maybe he's not. I wasn't expecting the lurk to come in. Oops. Some perks mapped for Azir should be good though.
Men die, but Shurima lives forever.
No, I thought he played it on the wrong one. I was like, typical AI, just putting the thing on the smaller unit. But all right, good deal. He hit the Sumpwork map for his. So let's just get 2 units on the board. We ever want a Yordle? I don't think so. He's not pulling off too much here. Maybe we do go for the pup.
This is glorious.
Okay.
Remember this day.
Oh man, I didn't even think of the lurk working with the sand soldiers. That's kind of choice. I like it. I like it. Might have to see if we can't build towards a more aggressively oriented lurk deck now that I've pieced together the Azir combo.
A lifetime of innovation.
All right, load them up. Get those clouds up in the air. All right, I think we can probably lethal off the open. We picked up Rising Spell Force that we can drop onto the Sand Soldier. I mean, he might have Mystic Shots or something, but I think we're pretty safe to go for a lethal here. Got him. All right, not bad, not bad. So anything cool here? A cheap unit for us? No, of course not. I don't want the Sandcrafters. I know that they do give us some abilities in here, but I think this Emperor's Divide is actually going to be kind of strong here. It's a couple of pieces in that it works with the lurk thing. It gives us a big wide board of blockers if we actually need them, and then with these Sand Soldiers being like 2/2s with the lurk bonus, I think this is gotta have a lot of OTK potential. I'm actually pretty on board with that. Okay, so let's cut a card. I usually cut the Chumpwump first. The Lecturing Yordle is just a little bit more interactive with his challenger, and so the Chumpwump can go. Maybe we actually cut out the Sandcrafter, right? Because it's just like not going to be sitting on the board. What I suspect is going to happen a lot was like how we played the Chumpwump last game, where we just play it and block and then spew off the Mushroom Clouds, and it's not like we got 0 value. So yeah, let's get rid of the Sandcrafter. I like it. Okay, so round start, each unit with 2 or less power has a 50-50 of either getting stunned or gaining elusive. Another one that makes it a little bit challenging for our Teemo, but things lighten up in terms of the elusives here in a little bit. Right, so we'll hold on to the pup, dig for the Teemos. Found the Teemo and the Azir. Cool. It's like, do we ever just want to come out and trade just to get this thing off of the board? That's probably a little greedy. A little on the greedy end. Hitting the lurks. That feels good. Alright, we don't have a lot going on with our hand. I'll go ahead and drop a Zir. Give us a blocker with the pup if we need to. But I suspect this open attack with a Zir is, you know, it's a reasonable way to chunk in some damage. I'm not gonna take it. We have a Teemo in hand, but no. It's like guaranteed free width on the opponent.
Reporting in.
No elusives. Cool. I guess these don't count, even though they are one-cost cards. Oh, it's at round start that ability happens. Okay. Look at this. Look at these Sand Soldier combos. So sweet. I'm so glad we took this Azir. Alright, so we'll get our attack in. I assume he'll block our Azir. Looks like we'll hit for 8. And then Teemo should be bouncing, or Teemo should be getting killed here, right? Our attack token, dead Teemo. Womp womp. He did his work though. He's got up to 70 puff caps in the opposing deck.
After them.
After 'em. Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Let's just go ahead and prevent the damage. We'll drop Teemo to make sure we can block an elusive. And then we have enough puff caps. We could probably just stall this game out the rest of the way if we didn't feel like Azir was going to get a kill next turn. Got him. Good stuff.
Look upon our work. Look what we have built.
Okay, anything interesting here? Not really. You know, I want our cards to just be a little bit on the cheaper end. I guess we could make usage of the Darkened Harp. Just, you know, costs 1 mana. It's a way to boost up our Azir so he gets to stay on board. I'm just not really amped about our ability to have lurkable units, right? I want stuff to just be on top of our deck and ready to go. We don't have the predicts, so we don't get to pick and choose. We just have to do it by just, you know, the makeup of our deck. And all right, here we'll cut the Chump Wump now. Get that expensive dude out of our deck, and then onto Ash. This is a fairly challenging battle for our deck, since there's a couple of things going on with this, right? They have a ton of Frostbites. The Frostbites work in the same way that we were talking about the stress defense, right? That it's a way to kind of pick and choose which of your opponent's units gets to stick around on the board. And so we have to, you know, kind of worry about the Frostbites. The second thing is, you know, as we're kind of just stacked up with one unit, if we just have the single unit on the board, it's very easy to cancel our attacks with a single Frostbite. And then the kind of last thing that's problematic here is Teemo. If Teemo gets, you know, flash frozen, then he's not going to get those Nexus strikes in. And so there's a lot of fairly problematic things that opponent can throw at us here. That all come from these flash freezes. But this is a pretty good start with Azir, even if the opponent has the flash freeze onto him. Trying to decide if we wanted to, you know, kind of preemptively protect his health. I don't think that's necessary.
Many tribes under one banner.
All right, so my intent with this turn is we're going to lose Azir. I'm going to throw Azir in front of his Avarosian Hearthguard. And then we're going to stress defense Ashe. I want Ashe to be the unit to die on the round. Now this is where things get awkward again, right? He's going to flash freeze us at the start of combat, so the Puffcat Pup shouldn't be able to deal damage this turn.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
Yep. Now, the interesting thing with Teemo is if we can get him to flip, he's going to have one attack and then be capable of dealing damage. So we can actually get a Teemo hit in here, right? So we spend the Teemo in our hand. That's 5 puff caps. Our attack gets us up to 10. He's going to level up and get the double thing happening. Oh, we hit a lurk as well.
Success is planting your mushrooms.
Beautiful. Very important to get these flipped hits in, because again, with all these flash freeze things happening, it can be exceptionally tough for us to actually deal a point of damage. Oh, right. And so let's, well, I was wanting to go ahead and spend a spell here, like, so we could try and take down the Hearthguard, but I think we're just going to be losing out. And see, that was so weird to me. Like, you just saw what happened, right? That was our attack token. Oh, no, that killed our weakest unit, and then Teemo came back. Okay, that makes sense. Just so much of a struggle to get this right.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
Okay.
I've always been a fun guy.
Lonely Poro, you look sad. You got overwhelmed really fast. However that happened. Alright, well, let's see what you can do, Teemo. Hopefully we get some of these sweet strikes in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lurk? Are we going to get it? Are we getting that lurk? What do you think? F. We at least get to load in the free puff caps, and then I'm going to follow up with the Ava Achiever here, just so we only need 3 puff caps to get the kill next turn.
Rule 102. Practice makes perfect.
I think it's, you know, technically there.
So guide me.
We've got 3 times as many puff caps as cards in their deck, so mathematically we're guaranteed to win.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
Alright, squeeze them cheeks. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, it was a crystal arrow on top? Oh, what a scam. What a scam. Just putting it right on top of the deck. That's one way to get around the puff caps, I guess.
That Elner could
What a load of BS. Alright, he's gonna shut down one of our hits. Oh, he's not even gonna lethal us. Okay. Perfect. I played the achiever, or the thing on the achiever, just in case we needed to block, but we should be good now. Eight into 5. GG. God, what a scam! Putting the crystal arrow on top of the deck to say gotcha against the Teemo. I'm surprised. I mean, I bet that's happened in Constructed before. People are kind of familiar with that back in the Foundations only era, but it's the first time I've seen that encounter. And all right, here, quick sight braid for Teemo to let us get 3 strikes in on the first turn. Definitely on board. Okay, on to the powers. What do we got? I'm always happy to have disarmed. Enemies have neg1 attack, just an all-around good ability. I don't think we're going to have any real combos with the Wild Inspiration. You can assemble some with Teemo, but we don't currently have them in our deck. We aren't focused on Conchologist. We cut out the 4/4 puff cap generator, and so I'm just going to take the generally good one and disarmed. Okay, on to the next level, either a spells chest or an item chest at the bottom. I'd prefer the item chest just to keep the same cards in our deck. But what are these when a player plays a unit? They shuffle their hand in their deck and draw that many? That's kind of insane for Teemo. When the foe summons an elite, give it 2/1. Whew. Alright, I'm going to go the elite route, but one must say, I bet that Intrepid Mariner is just easy mode for Teemo. Just shuffle and draw every time you play a unit. Alright, so we got our Teemo. We can look to, I think, just keep Do we want to keep more than one? Probably not. But we can play him on the first turn since he's going to get that free attack in. And then I'm not sure how that works in terms of him having Scout. Right, if this counts as a Scout attack or if it gives us the attack token back. I'm going to have to watch how this works. That's supposed to be a free attack, right? I don't think that counts as a Scout attack. So let's see.
Never know what hit 'em.
It does count as our Scout attack. Okay. It's not really that free, is it? Cost about $350 right there. But I guess to a degree, it's like somewhat nice in that it's kind of like a burst attack, and he doesn't have the chance to respond to it.
See what we see, soldiers.
I've trained my whole life for this.
Won't pass these walls.
All right, what do we got him up to? 138 puff caps. That's not bad. That's not bad. Not enough for a lethal, but we're making progress.
Shurima never fell. It only awaited my return.
All the elites. We're gonna get popped for a little bit here.
Hesitate.
Faithless creature.
8.
What could have been?
Got him there. Sad Renekton.
They cheer our name. Our legacy is eternal.
Okay, so what do we got? Ooh, that's like cool. Puff cap pups. Man, I don't want the pup to cost more mana. That just ruins everything. Let's take a reroll on this one. See if we can't find something on theme. Well, I guess we have more Emperor's Divides, but again, we're looking for like just the cheap units we can hit with lurks, and we didn't get it here. So it's okay. We tried. Onto the item chest. That's a good looking puff cap pup. The actual downside to the pup though is it makes it bigger than a Zir. If it has the 5 attack, then he's going to be surviving over a Zir. I guess it's probably okay. Into the shop. The power. When you summon an ally, give it a keyword. I'm on board with that. Anything else useful here? I'm pretty excited about this flash freeze, right? If we're into this real single unit kind of thing, then having the flash freezes to just shut down our opponent's Kaisa or whatever sounds pretty nice. Otherwise, we could look to the Xenotype Researchers just as another cheap unit that can activate a lurk. It's another one. I'm okay with the Researchers, but I think it's not going to add enough to our deck. Like you can kind of convince yourself that it's going to be useful in the terms of it gets to activate the lurk and it's going to make a unit in the deck bigger, then that bigger unit's going to survive on board and stuff, but I'm not really excited about it. And here, I'm not sure what Astute Academic is. What's this? Cards the foe draws cost 2 less this round. That's kind of scary. He's going to be able to get wider than us, right? We're really counting on one unit at a time. And I do concede that, he's going to get a wide board and it's going to nuke all of them but one unit. But we're still going to take like 8-10 damage in the process. Just like how we had to face the elites there and we had to take 8 damage off of his width. It didn't matter that they all died at the end of the turn. It was that damage that was a real pain in the butt. And so I don't want to fight them. I'm just going to go down to the Zephyr Sage. So the foe creates an exact fleeting copy of the least expensive unit in their hand. So he'll be able to get the cheap boys on board, but not nearly as bad as everything in your hand just costing 2 less. All right, so let's dig for a Teemo or for a pup. I'd really like to have a turn 1 Teemo here. Found it all.
Prepared for anything.
We got the lurk, we got it all. He hit lifesteal. Not bad. Give me them stats back. Give me that health back.
My friend and I are toll collectors.
Looks like we're gonna need it. Wow, Disarmed is looking really powerful here as well. Shutting down his power on board. Beautiful.
We've been through a lot. Bring me tea to gain the strength of
So we got a choice here. I'm gonna just come in with the Dune Keeper to give us 2 blockers. We'll see if I guess we can just come in with Teemo after the fact, right? I forget that he's got these free attacks attached to him. Just get it all, get it in. All right, this game's got to be done. Let's be real. This is this Teemo's just popping off. What are we at? 142 puff caps.
Two, three, four.
Hi, dude. You're looking fairly dead here. You get to put the harp onto Teemo.
my training is unconventional.
All right, on to Kaisa.
Never underestimate the power of the Scout's Code.
So let's see, more puff cap pups, absolutely beautiful. Into the shop, see if we can't get a nice power out of this. There's more puff cap pups in here. We definitely got to cycle back to that, but let's see if there's a good power. When you summon an ally random keyword, it's another good one. Cool. So all the pups, I'll take them. Maybe we just stop there. We already have like 7 in our deck now. I feel like that's enough. We have 6. Okay, we'll just take the item and stop. Onto the healer. Let's cut a card. Something expensive. Lecturing Yordle, you're gone. And on to Kaisa. So the foes champions have +1/+1 for each of their keywords. Hopefully we can just end the game before Kaisa even comes down on the board. We'll be the ones teaching Kaisa how to keyword this game. All of our units coming on board with 2. Oh man, I forgot how sweet this quick attack on Teemo is so incredibly strong.
Starts with mushroom.
Not quick attack, free attack. So we can play and we can get the attacks in. Regardless of however these abilities work, he's the only unit we have on board, so he's going to be coming back to hand. And then next turn we can do what we did in the previous game, to where we put the Dune Keeper down, just to make sure that we have some blocks. Oh, is that going to ruin everything? It's going to kill the weakest unit. Okay. So we'll have some blockers to try and shut down whatever he's doing, and then we can free attack with Teemo after.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
Got the lurk as well. Feeling safe with the spell shield. I dig it. You're done for, Kaisa. I'm calling my shot now. I feel like this game's done.
The desert by my side.
You'll never know what hit 'em.
Yeah, to get those lurks doing stuff. This is great. This is great. Small unit to die, so we get the Teemo back for sure. What do you got? You got 73 puff caps right now. It's about to go up to about 300.
Reporting in.
You wasters came along.
Look at that Void Blaster trying to come out and just blast them. Not today, dude. Not today. I'm getting my Teemo on board. Getting those extra puff caps in the deck. Feeling good. Feeling alive. Feeling great. Let's see, at 312 and 25 cards. Easy 5. GG. And so, yeah, not a bad set of battles. I hope I haven't led you astray in how these abilities work. I'm just saying it the best way I know how and what it seems to work like to me. One of the rules gurus of the world can let us know how that round end return plus reckoning style ability works. But here, even with that, perhaps wrongly described, I think we still had a pretty good run. I think we got to talk about a lot of the interesting concepts in this battle and a lot of the things to watch out for. And so I had fun with that, man. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.